Good boy. This is Nikolai. He's my male Siberian Husky. I love him. He's very intelligent, very obedient. July 20th, they're hot. But anyway, when I first started putting videos on YouTube, it was because foliage Russian bees queens were poor quality, and I was trying to warn people not to buy his queens. And somebody left a comment that I should leave beekeeping to the professionals, and I don't know what that has to do with the quality of foliage Russian bees, but anytime anybody puts me down, it just gives me more incentive to want to prove they're wrong. And here it is, July 20th, 2023, and I've made over 140 new colonies this summer, and each one of these is worth $150 on average. And I've contacted commercial beekeepers, and they're not going to buy any right now. They won't buy any until end of summer, early fall. But anyway, each one of these is worth $150. There's 142, and I'm not done yet. I've still got these to go through, and you're seeing a lot of red. It seems like things aren't going well. Usually I like that towards the end, things don't go well. It's easier to do new queens at the beginning of summer than it is midsummer or late summer. So like along my garage here, I won't do any more mating nukes ever again because the success rate has been very low, and I didn't realize that until I started doing mating nukes in other locations. I got better than 80% in other locations, but along the garage here, it's probably going to be about 50% when I'm done, and that's not very good. Let me show you the other area. Alright, this is an area that's probably about 95% or so. There's only 1, 2, 3 colonies I've removed. Even the ones that don't have a medium, they have a laying queen. I just haven't gotten the mediums yet on them. And this one right here is a colony that had a laying queen. They didn't like her and they decided to redo it, so I let them. But I'm not actually making any more mating nukes July 20th. I'm done with mating nukes. I'm ending them. But if they already have queen cells and they decide to do it, I'll leave it. But over here, you see all the gaps. I've hauled 66 colonies to another apiary. The farmers have cut the hay a couple days ago. The hay that they cut was alfalfa and Dutch white clover, and because of the rain the last few weeks, they weren't able to cut it, and the alfalfa had blossomed, and there was just a complete amount of nectar for over 200 colonies, and now there's not that much, so I had to take 66 away. But you see, even with the gaps here represent failed mating nukes, but the gaps, well, I don't know, I've taken 66 away. Some down there, some here. Not so much down here, but it's probably 80%. And what I'm going to do today, probably after it rains, we got rain coming, I'm going to put, you see how I've put I need mediums. And rather than building a bunch of mediums right now, I don't have time. Well, I'm going to build a few, but I can't keep up. I've taken out the extra mediums. They're full of honey already, and I'm putting an empty deep in here, and I'm leaving one medium for the colony. And then they'll probably fill that deep with honey this summer. This colony here had issues, but this one here's an example. 3 mediums. Today I'm going to take these 2 mediums, the top off, make sure the queen is down here, and I'm going to use these mediums to put on these colonies here that have laying queens. What you do is you let them set for a while, and all the worker bees will go back to the original hive, and the only thing that'll be left is nurse bees, and it'd be safe to set them on a different colony, as long as, to be sure, as long as that colony isn't real small. Well, some of these are small. I don't have my hive tool. Never have a hive tool when you need it. I would never put more newbies on there than there are existing in that colony. Why? Because you just want to make sure that they don't overwhelm the queen in this colony. and kill her. You just want to add bees. You don't want to kill that queen in that colony. Add bees and frames of honey. How's this one doing? That one's doing a little better. If it were too small, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put a medium on. I'd wait a while. But how many beekeepers in North America can manage small colonies like I do? During the winter, I bring these colonies inside and I do hive inspections during the winter. And I do have honeybees for sale. If you're a commercial beekeeper and you want to buy some of my honeybees, you look through my videos and you see my phone number on one of my trucks. You can call me, leave a message. I've got too many colonies. If nobody buys any bees, I could probably manage to keep most of them alive through winter. And I had 4 colonies here that I put down in my basement that I'm building. And all 4 of those colonies that were split created a new colony. And over here, rather than hauling these bees to a different apiary and waiting 3 weeks or so to bring them back, I'm just going to set them here and slide them down, because all these gaps here were bees I hauled away, and the goal is to get them all moved toward the east, because I'm going to be going in and out of here with my backhoe, and I don't want to bump into them. And pause. And these gaps here are from failed mating nukes. I did about 80% here. Overall, probably 80% on my property. Over 140, 142 right now, and I currently have like 10 more to go. I don't think I'm gonna make 150, but for the asshole that left a comment that I should leave beekeeping to professionals, fuck you. I'm better than the professional beekeepers. I've contacted 2 commercial beekeepers and told them that I have honeybees for sale. One was Michigan Bee Works. I left a message on his phone. And the other one was Klein and Sons, Terry Klein and Sons of St. Charles, Michigan. They're the ones I bought packaged bees from. And years ago they had 1,300 or 1,500. I can't remember exactly. I asked how many colonies they have, and the guy said 1,500. I said, well, you guys haven't grown much. How come? Well, dead outs. They had dead outs. So I've grown so much over the last few years compared to them. So I'm better than the professional beekeepers. Whoever said that comment, I could probably figure it out, look, but fuck you, okay? If you're following somebody like David Burns and Vinyl Farm, I mean, do those guys have over 200 colonies? I mean, like David Burns left in his latest videos, you have a honey-bound colony. How to save a honey-bound colony. It's not that difficult to figure it out. Add a hive body, my God. And what you do when you add a hive body, pull a few frames from an existing, like some brood frames, if they have any room for brood, or pull out some honey and put it in that new hive body and give some new frames where they have their brood. It's not that difficult, it's common sense. That's the trouble with Americans. You guys are so fucking stupid and fat. Your government's corrupt, they're not on your side. They're just robbing from you. That's why the debt ceiling will be continually raised forever and ever until the United States government collapses. Because if they don't raise the debt limit, they won't be able to keep robbing from you. That's all that debt is. It's when it's like the Iraq War from Bush, you know, and Obama bailed out the banks, and all that, majority of that debt that we have is from the rich people robbing us, and our government is helping them rob us. And you guys are too fucking stupid to figure out Uncle Sam was fucking you up the ass, okay? And it's just like you beekeepers. It's the toxic chemicals that are causing the most damage to your honeybees. The beekeeping supply stores want you to believe that it's the varroa mites. It's like Better Bee. They want you to do varroa mite treatments all year long. And I added up how much it costs. It'd be over $50 per colony. How can you make any money if you're spending $50, $60 on varroa mite treatments And if you're not breeding your own queens and you're spending maybe $40 every 2 years for a queen, you're not making any money. Who makes money? $150 for every colony I created. I created over 140, currently 142. Do the math. $20,000, you fucking idiots, okay? I've made $20,000 worth of honeybees, and if nobody buys them, fine. I will have more bees next year because I know how to keep majority of my colonies alive through winter. The small colonies get brought inside. Final Farm wants you to believe if you insulate a hive, that's the way to go. If that colony is small and they're dying from the toxic chemicals they're bringing in, see, they're bringing in stuff all summer long, the nectar and the pollen, full of toxic chemicals from crop farmers. That's what's killing your bees during the winter. Instead of living 5 to 6 months, you can only get 3 to 4 months out of them. So that's what makes your colony get small. And if they get cold, and insulation's not going to help. Say you have a broken furnace in your house, but you have the best insulation in the world. Is your house going to stay warm? Hell no. You guys are a bunch of fucking morons, all right? Thank you.